Well, ladies and gentlemen, there's only one word to describe AEW Double or Nothing, and that is glorious! This event was fucking entertaining as hell, especially the main event. I enjoyed the living shit out of the Stadium Stampede match. A very entertaining matchup. The rest of the card was pretty decent. But that main event, Stadium Stampede match, really stole the show to me. I'm going to say that match is the match of the night. This show really went way too long in my liking. I thought that this show should have been 3 hours. A little bit over 3 hours possibly would have been okay. But for them to do a full-blown almost 4 hours, which is, it ended at like 11:45, I believe. Was a bit of a stretch. And if it wasn't for the Stadium Stampede match, this show would have really went down in the tubes for me. Because I was kind of losing some interest in it after the Cody versus Lance Archer match, actually, for the TNT Championship. But anyway, guys, if you're watching this video and this is the first time you're on the channel, please leave a comment down below. Hit a like button if you like this video, and not to mention, hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. I greatly appreciate it. I only have 109 subscribers. I'd like to get this to 200 by the end of, by like mid-June, late June. Something of that kind of nature. So I'm trying to shoot for that. At least 100 every month. So anyway, guys, let's just get into this right here, right now. First match on the card was the Best Friends with Chuck Taylor and Trent versus the Private Party of Isaiah Cassidy and Mark Quinn. This matchup, it was to crown a number one contender for the AEW World Tag Team titles, and I think the Best Friends being the ones to win this matchup was a smart decision. I think the titles being taken off of Kenny Omega and Paige here at this point would be okay to do. That would also lead them to build up towards a match between Hangman Page and Kenny Omega at the All Out pay-per-view. I would be fine with that. That would also be a good way of crowning a number one contender. In September 5th, actually, is now the date that it's going to be scheduled for All Out. So I hope that that's what they go with here at this point. Matchup itself was a 3.5 out of 5 stars. Very solid, entertaining matchup. Now, this was the match that kickstarted the main card. This was the Casino Ladder match for a future World Championship match. And Brian Cage is the person who picks up the victory. Very surprising as well. He wasn't even really announced for this event. He just happened to show up as a surprise entrant for this ladder match. Joey Janela was the person who replaced Rey Fenix. They announced that Rey Fenix got injured, so they put Joey Janela in this situation. I thought it would have been kind of interesting to see Joey Janela win this matchup. It definitely would have been shocking. A little bit surprising at the same time. Scorpio Sky was actually my top pick to win this matchup, but unfortunately with Brian Cage being in this match, you have to go with him. He's definitely a guy that sticks out, most importantly, and number two, I definitely see him as being a leader of a wrestling promotion, being the front runner in the company. So Brian Cage definitely was a good pick if you're going to put him in this matchup, which they did. And, I mean, great job by them. Darby Allin picked the spot of the night for me. Darby Allin was unbelievable in this matchup. He climbed up to the top of the ladder with a skateboard, landed down on I believe it was Kip Sabian who was on the ladder. Kip Sabian moved out of the way, and Darby Allin fell all the way down from the ladder, which was a super tall ladder, with a skateboard, broke the other ladder that was set up, and he went right through that ladder, and I think he either sprained his ankle or injured his shin. He was not in very good shape. He looked like he was in a lot of pain, and he ends up losing this matchup with Brian Cage throwing him out of the ring while he's attached to or not attached, but laying on top of a ladder. And they kind of fucked up in that spot, though. The first attempt that they tried to do it, because he was kind of falling off, so they had to redo the spot over, which didn't look that great, unfortunately. But they were using a very small ladder. I don't know why, but they decided to use a smaller ladder. He picked him up, and the second attempt, and just threw him right into another large ladder, leaving Darby Allin wasted out on the floor and out of the picture. And then Brian Cage climbed up and picked up the victory to be crowned the number one challenger for the AEW World title at some point down the line. This matchup, I am going to give it a 3.5 out of 5 stars as well. This matchup was pretty solid. It didn't get me super excited, but it was pretty good. I will give it that. MJF versus Jungle Boy. This match I'm giving a 3 out of 5 stars. The match was a little slow, but I did like the ending, especially the way MJF picked up a very, very intelligent victory. They had him in these like counter moves with this schoolboy roll-up pins, and MJF finally, after several switches back and forth between Jungle Boy and MJF decided to just grab his arm, pull him down, and reverse it where he's holding his arm down at the same time being on top of him, and he got the 1, 2, 3, which prevented him from being able to even lift up a shoulder. So I gotta give credit where credit's due. MJF did a good job here. I like this match. It was a decent match overall, so I'll give it a 3 out of 5 stars. Cody and Lance Archer for the TNT Championship. Cody actually wins this match. Now, the TNT Championship. My best friend Matt asks me, what do you think of the title? You like it? He said he liked it, and I said, not particularly. I didn't care for this title, the way it looked. But later on during the match, Jim Ross explains why the title looks the way it does, and it's because of the coronavirus that they couldn't get that title completely done. So that's not the final look of that championship, thank goodness. So they just need to put some gold on it and get it looking good, gold plated and whatnot, and then it would be set, and that would be completed title. So I'm glad that's not the official look of that championship. So I'm not going to give a opinion on how that title looks at this point. Cody and Lance Archer's match, I'm going to give this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. These matches were pretty, okay. Until the last two. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through this as I go along and tell you the stars that I have for them. 3.5 out of 5 stars for Cody and Lance Archer. Very good matchup, though. I mean, overall with the storyline build here. So I thought they did a decent job there. Chris Statlander beating Penelope Ford. Didn't even care for this match. Gonna give it just a decent 2 out of 5. I didn't really care for it at all. Dustin Rhodes versus Shawn Spears. Dustin Rhodes beats Shawn Spears in this matchup, which didn't even last that long either. I'm giving that a 1.5 stars. Hikaru Shida versus Nyla Rose for the AEW Women's Championship. No disqualification match and a no killing out match. This matchup surprised the living hell out of me. Hikaru Shida defeated Nyla Rose for the championship. I thought maybe they're going to have Nyla Rose have a decent time as the AEW Women's Champion, but unfortunately they had Nyla Rose lose it. Now, I will admit this, Hikaru Shida is going to make a good champion. She's a good wrestler. She did a good job in this match with what she did. Holy shit, she fucking whacked Nyla Rose square in the fucking temple with a gosh darn kendo stick. And then with a running knee lariat to the fucking face and got the 1, 2, 3. So kudos to her. I'm giving this match a 4 out of 5 stars. Good matchup by these two women. Solid action between the both of them. I do see Nyla Rose later on picking the title back up again and becoming the champion once more. So I don't think this is the end of Nyla Rose. Definitely not. Jon Moxley versus Mr. Brody Lee for the AEW World Championship. This match was a 4 out of 5 stars as well. This was a very solid matchup. Great stuff. Both of these guys really roughed each other up. Brody Lee actually losing this match wasn't bad because of how they did it. He was battered, bruised, and he still could not be put away. He couldn't put him away. He put him in 3 different paradigm shifts, Jon Moxley, and could not finish the job. It literally took to the point to a rear naked choke sleeper hold that put him out finally, and it was near to impossible for him to put away Brody Lee. So submission where he knocks him out unconscious was the only option at this point, which he did, and Jon Moxley wins and retains the championship. I don't see this hurting Brody Lee. If anything, it's helping Brody Lee without giving him the championship at the same time. So kudos for AEW's work there. I thought that was fantastic, excellent stuff. So overall, that was great. So the last match, I mean, maybe some people will disagree with me, but I'm going to say the Stadium Stampede match was a 5 out of 5 star match. Easy. An easy 5 out of 5 stars. This was funny. It was entertaining. It had some good wrestling. It had one scary, actually 2 scary spots, but one of which I think maybe I was a little bit, taking to heart too much to this. It was, I believe it was Nick Jackson. Yeah, Nick Jackson. He climbed to the top of the field goal post and did a lion salt on top of, I believe it was Sammy Guevara. And I was worried that he was going to fall off the field goal post, which he did not, thankfully. He already has bruised up ribs as it is anyhow. He's got a fucked up back and everything. So I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's storyline or that's really a problem with him, that he has a back problem. Adam Hangman Page, that guy, man, he's fucking crazy. He's coming in on a fucking horse, and he's delayed to show up. He's actually late to show up for his own fucking match, but shows up anyway. You find him later on drinking in the lobby of the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium, which was fucking weirded out, which I'll get into. You see Matt Hardy changing to different Matt Hardys. Broken, Matt Hardy version 1, Matt Hardy will not die character, I would assume. It was very weird. They were in a pool with Santana and Ortiz with Matt Hardy, and they were trying to drown him, and they put up it was like one of those old school Matt Hardy version 1 Matt Hardy facts things, and it says there that he could hold his breath for 346 seconds. I thought that was great. Eventually Matt Hardy puts them away. He rings their bell too. Ortiz is like, oh God, he's convulsing like he's all fucked up from the noise from the bell. A lot of funny stuff that happened during this match. Jericho's complaining about a call for a pinfall, and the ref, he challenges the play on that, and they go inside a fucking review tent to review the play of the pinfall, and it's counted as he only got a 2 count, so the play stands. A flag on Nick, I think it's Nick Jackson, I believe, who did this, or it was Matt Jackson. Matt Jackson's doing like freaking I forgot the move. It's he basically, it's like a German suplex, only he's doing it from the front end. and he grabs him and flips him up, and you can actually have it as a pinfall combo. And he's doing this throughout the entire stadium, from one side of the end zone to the other side, and then he's celebrating, and then the referee throws a flag on that for over celebration, and he kicks the referee in the face. This shit was fucking off the wall funny stuff. Not cheesy. It was very natural. It was very funny. Somewhat a little bit over the top, but very hilarious at the same time. I don't know if this was... I'm pretty certain a lot of this stuff was pre-recorded. And just like rehearsed and whatnot. I don't think that this was like a legit matchup. It was more of a cinematic matchup, but it really didn't come across that way to me. So I'm assuming this had to be recorded like a night before the actual event at a nighttime setting for them to do all this. And like they probably cut and did all kinds of stuff just to get Matt Hardy to change in different clothes and shit like that. Because it didn't really seem to make a lot of sense to me that he could be underneath the water and changing his clothes. I don't think that really happened. So that's just me and how I feel on that. You guys let me know what you think about it. But overall, God almighty, there was just so much shit that happened. In the moment of the night, guys, oh, Jesus Christ. Poor Sammy Guevara. JR said this. And I totally agree with him. The poor guy can't even catch a break. The son of a bitch can't even catch a break. Sammy Guevara wakes up after crawling across the field, after being slammed on the ground a bunch of times till he made to the other side of the end zone, the other side of the field and everything. He's crawling in the middle part of the field, I would assume so, and then the sprinklers come on, spray him in the face. And then Sammy Guevara is just trying to run for his life and survive and try to get through all this. Everyone else is knocked out from his team. Before I go into the final spot that they did, they had Hangman Page in the, like I said, in the lobby, and Jake Hager goes ahead and finds that the horse that he was riding is standing in the middle of the hallway because he told the horse to stay. So the horse stood. And he sees the horse, sees the lobby, he says, okay, put the dots together. All right, boom, let's go in the lobby. He's sitting there drinking. Jake Hager sits down with him, and he's like, Hangman Page says, are you here to fight or are you here to drink? And he goes, I'll take a drink. So he pours him a drink, and he says, well, how about we drink and fight? He fucking hits him. It looked like something out of a Wild West movie. I mean, seriously, it was one of those old school type of Wild West type of Hollywood movies. It was very funny, very hilarious. Hager got hit in the head with 4 wine, I think they're wine bottles or some sort of hard liquor bottles, and he didn't bleed or anything, which I didn't understand why they didn't do that, but he got knocked out. And then the end segment, just to skip all the way back to where I was Sammy Guevara's on top of this little thing where the stands are. He's trying to fight off Matt Hardy and Kenny Omega. Neo 1 shows up. Vanguard is no longer exists. He was destroyed. So Neo 1 is now the replacement of Vanguard. He's watching this whole incident happening, and he distracts Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara goes ahead, gets attacked by Kenny Omega, and he does the one-wing angel from the top of this this thing above the stands, and they land I would say it's about 20 feet in the air, all the way down through this this little setting they set up for them to do this spot, and it looked like it hurt. I mean, Sammy Guevara looked like he was fucking hurt as shit. That had to hurt like a motherfucker. But, yeah, that is my spot of the night. This is the match of the night. Stadium Stampede. Look, Money in the Bank, you can say whatever you want. That shit was not as funny as this. That was just... that Money in the Bank cinematic matchup was more along the lines of like a If you didn't laugh, you're not alive. That's the truth of the matter. The whole thing was just over the top stupid. This was more, it legitimately makes you laugh because it was funny, it was humorous. It had a reason to give you a purpose to laugh at. Money in the Bank's cinematic match was more along the lines of a fucking, just you had to laugh because it was so dumb. That's the bottom line to all that. But anyway, guys, that's all I have to say on this pay-per-view. Very solid pay-per-view, I have to say. I think that the Chris Statlander, Penelope Ford match and the Dustin Rhodes, Shawn Spears match could have been taken off of this card. I don't even think it needed to be there. Would it save it another 7 minutes? Not that it would have saved a lot of time. Some of these matches could have been cut a little bit shorter. That might have made the matches a little bit better too. But overall, I have to admit, this was a solid, entertaining show. If you were to go back and watch it, you probably could have skipped some of these matches to save yourself some time and not have to watch the pay-per-view for so long in one setting for a replay. So, that's just my feelings on it. Leave your comments down below. Hit the like button if you like this video. And hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. And I thank you very much for watching. See you later. Bye.